Welcome to my show. Today we have wonderful guests with us, plenty of them, and I'm going to introduce you to the first one, a holy woman from a Native American tribe. Holy woman! Okay, holy woman, today we're talking about early American literature. So how did you pass on your culture and your traditions without any form of writing that you guys had?
Well, it was all about oral tradition, passing down stories from our history to generation. When you write things down, you don't have to remember them. But for us, it's different. All that we are, all that we have ever been, all the great names of our heroes and their songs and deeds are alive within each of us, living in our blood.
That's absolutely wonderful. So that's some early Native American writing.
We have very rich and varied creation stories in all of our cultures.
That's incredible. Well, thanks for being on the show. See you later. Now we have Christopher Columbus. You may know him as Christopher Columbus because he's a 4-time voyager to America. Chris, come on. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good.
That's great. Now, you traveled to America in the name of Spain, so you were one of the first to journalize your 4 journeys, right?
Yes, I was one of the first in my journals and letters. I was very disappointed in the end because I couldn't find the cities of gold Marco was talking about.
Marco. Okay, yeah. That explains it. Well, that's incredible. So it was all in your journals and your letters?
Yeah.
Just everything that you guys did on your trips?
Yes.
That's incredible. Thanks for being on the show, Chris. See you later. Next on, we have Captain John Smith from the Jamestown Colony. Come on, John. Now, tell me about yourself.
Well, as you may know, I was one of the leaders of the Jamestown colony, and the more successful it was, the more money I made. So I recorded everything, from our history in Virginia to the history of New England, to attract everyone and anyone to Virginia.
So, I'm just gonna guess here, you weren't completely straightforward, right?
Basically.
So it was all about the money.
I was proud of my great deeds and eager to gain recognition.
So it was all, okay.
Yeah. Greedy.
See you later. Bye, greedy. Okay, next on we have Olaudah Equiano. He was an African-American slave during the colonial times. Now, what happened?
Hello, thank you for having me. Yes, I was a slave, and by God, I never met a bigger group of hypocrites in my life. They call themselves Christians, but I never met anyone more unchristian. The way they treated me in the West Indies, they definitely weren't following God's will.
So mostly what you wrote about was just how awful their treatment was and how basically they weren't Christian-like at all. That's absolutely awful. Thanks for being on the show, Olaudah. See you later. Now we have Cotton Mather. Now, come on, Cotton, get out here. Now, tell me about your writings.
Yes, well, I was alive during the Salem witch trials and had the awful pleasure of recording over 20 people's condemnations to death. Over 20 witches, each with the ability to float.
Okay.
Yeah. I also wrote about the inoculation of smallpox.
That's really incredible and awful at the same time.
It was nasty.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting. And those poor witches, I mean,
Yeah.
so what, I can swim. Who cares? Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Now we have Anne Bradstreet. Come on, Anne. Now, what did you write about?
Well, I, as a Puritan poet, wrote about the relationship between the people and God.
Mm-hmm.
The 10th Muse lately sprung up in America.
That's your book, right?
Yeah, it's just poems about the relationships between people and God and Puritan religion. Also about deep faith and my love for my husband and children. I also wrote about the woman's role in the male-dominated Puritan society.
That's incredible. And you said it was the 10th Muse lately sprung up in America?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I bet you can find that at your local Barnes & Noble. Thanks for being on the show, Anne. Now onto the show, we have Thomas Paine. Come on, Tom. Now, what did you write?
I wrote all about political pamphlets and during the revolutionary time period to spur the revolution. Along with many other pamphlets, we spurred the fire of the revolution, you know?
Mhm.
I wrote Common Sense, a pamphlet encouraging colonists to join the rebellious side.
That's incredible. So it was just you and a bunch of other writers writing these little pamphlets about how awful Great Britain was.
Yeah, how we want
Yeah.
to be rebel from them.
Yeah. And look at us now. Way to go. Thanks for being on the show, Tom.
Thanks.
See you later. Now we have one of the most recognizable and important authors of the 18th century, the writer of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson. Come on the show, Tom. Now, tell me about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I wrote the Declaration of Independence of Pennsylvania, which basically was our way of telling Britain that we were done and officially declaring our independence.
So at this point, you fed up with Great Britain and you sat down and wrote this eloquent document about you being done.
Yeah, it was a very important document signed by many. I also eloquently articulated every kingdom's natural law.
So, like the rights that we were all given at birth. That sounds incredible. Congratulations. Thanks for being on the show, Tom. And now we have George Washington. George Washington, as you may know, was one of our founding fathers. He also, which many people don't know, helped write the Constitution. Come on the show, George. Go ahead.
Well, I helped write the Constitution with people like Ben Franklin at the Constitutional Convention Center in Pennsylvania. Honestly, when I first wrote it, I didn't believe it would last for more than 20 years.
But I mean, obviously it did. I mean,
Yeah,
we still use it today.
definitely.
Yeah. So how long have you been dead now?
Long time.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
Ah, that's great. See you later, George. Well, that's all we have today for my talk show. Join in next time.